This is VOA News via remote. I'm Liz Palka. India's prime minister said on Monday at the United Nations Climate Summit COP26 his country would aim to stop adding greenhouse gases to the atmosphere by 2070. That pledge would come decades after the United States and at least 10 years later than China. Narendra Modi announced the target Monday at the summit in Glasgow, Scotland. Modi said the goal of reaching net zero by 2070 was one of the 5 measures India planned to undertake to meet its commitments under the Paris Climate Accord. A coalition of governments and private funders announced plans at COP26 to invest $1.7 billion to aid indigenous communities, as well as protect biodiverse tropical forests in the next 4 years. The governments participating are from the United States, United Kingdom, Norway, Germany, and the Netherlands, and 17 other private funders. They say the money will support activities to secure, strengthen, and protect indigenous peoples and local communities' land and resource rights. It will also provide other kinds of aid, including for group activities. U.S. President Joe Biden took a more humble tone on climate change, acknowledging to the UN Climate Summit on Monday that the U.S. and other energy-gulping developed nations bear much of the blame for climate change. President Biden says developed nations bear overwhelming obligations to poorer nations now struggling with climate change. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres calls it a global shame as the world marks 5 million dead due to COVID-19. This is VOA News. The White House COVID-19 response team said Monday it is anticipating final approval of the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine for children by the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. It is prepared to administer the first vaccines to U.S. children ages 5 through 11 later this week. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration gave emergency approval for the distribution of the children's doses of the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine last Friday. The CDC's advisory committee will consider the children's doses of the vaccine for approval on Tuesday. Witnesses and officials say at least 3 people are dead and dozens more missing after the collapse of a 21-story apartment building under construction in Lagos, Nigeria's largest city. The AP citing a construction worker who estimated that about 100 people were working at the site when the building collapsed. He and his brother were among those who managed to escape. It's not immediately known what caused the high rise to collapse, but such incidents are often attributed to poor construction work by private developers. Observers say law enforcement of building code regulations in Nigeria is also weak. The U.S. state of West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin is wavering over support of President Biden's $1.7 trillion policy package. Other Democrats wanted a signal from Manchin that he will support President Biden's bigger package. Instead, Manchin says it's time to vote on a nearly $1 trillion bipartisan infrastructure bill. Manchin rebuffed progressive Democrats, telling them to quit holding hostage the slimmer bill as negotiations continue. The White House and Democratic leaders insist the president's larger bill is on track. Democrats have made significant progress on adding compromise provisions curbing prescription drug prices to the $1.75 trillion package. They hope to vote as soon as this week. Local media in the U.S. city of Miami, Florida, reported that rock star Jon Bon Jovi was forced to cancel a concert Saturday minutes before taking the stage after testing positive for COVID-19. A Miami television station said a spokesman for the fully vaccinated singer told the audience Saturday evening that Bon Jovi had tested positive after he and members of his band took rapid response tests. The spokesman said the rock star feels great but would not be performing and was headed to bed. The band is reported to have stayed and played for the crowd without the lead singer. Bon Jovi participated in public service campaigns last year, encouraging people to mask up and practice social distancing. Via remote, I'm Liz Pelka, VOA News.